Break all the glass. Break all the glass! Ah! Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to Jesse Does Stuff. I'm your host, Jesse, and I'm here to do stuff. Okay, so today what we're going to be doing is we are going to be building a set from Castlevania. That's right, the beloved Castlevania. If you don't know it, why are you even here? No, I'm just kidding. It's an old SNES game about vampires. That's really all you need to know. We will be building a stage from the game Castlevania 5, featuring the great Richter Belmont. Let's switch over to that right now. Okay, what you can see right here is the building that we are going to construct. It is not a chapel. I thought it was. It is not. You can go in and see that it's more of a manor. But whatever. We are going to be starting with this innermost structure, which I am hopping around right now, and then we will work outwards, and you'll see why later. These archways are going to become a pain, by the way, just to let you know. Let's switch back to Minecraft. So to start, I'm going to be doing the innermost building. And I'm not going to actually be doing the inside of it. I'm just going to be doing the basic framework so that we know what we're dealing with. Because I want to actually start with the outside courtyard for now. I will be doing the inside later. Unless things turn terrible, in which case I will do the inside. In which case I'll blow everything up in joyous fire and then do the inside. Okay, now what I'm doing here is I am setting up the towers that you will be able to see on the screen right here, and they line basically the whole front of the entire complex. And I'm just sort of setting up windows, like areas for windows that you also saw in that picture, and where the towers go. The towers will give me a lot of problems later as well, and I will probably rage quit on them if I remember correctly. And that's all we're going to do. We're going to measure them out and make sure they're consistently spaced with the picture I showed you up there, and make sure they're symmetrical on the other side of the complex. That's what I'm doing. And here's why I wanted to do that, because I made an error in my first guess, and as you can see, it comes back quite a bit further. So always be careful when you're measuring things. Always over-assume space. It's better to over-assume space than under-assume space, because you can always take more off, but it's harder to add things after you've gone through all these complicated steps. Anyway, that's a pretty good size for just the opening. This is just the entrance for when you're walking into the door to the building. So the rest of the building is all the way back here. Now I know compared to the game, it's a bit of a size difference, but we can just pretend that Richter is like super fat and super tall, or something like that. I have Minecraft blocks to work with. Give me a break here. Anyway, regardless of any of that, this is a very big building we're working with here. Thankfully, the interior decorators of said building didn't really care. They, not a lot of things filled in here. I think I'm gonna make this a little bit wider, but other than that, this is looking pretty good. Basically what it is that I'm trying to do here is I'm trying to eye it up and make sure that it's not too thin, but it's also not too fat, because we want it to look nice, and we don't want this to look stumpy. And if the walkway is too fat, it gets into that danger, because I guess perhaps because of the 2D art style, the Castlevania walkway to me seems a little bit thin. And here I am doing another important step, which is to make sure everything is symmetrical. Just checking both sides and trying to match them up, and of course blurring very loud techno while doing so, which is why I'm not showing much of the original audio, because I was stupid and forgot to take it off, because I'm stupid like that. But anyway, here I am trying to do the towers, and I noticed a little something wrong. Let's see how long it takes me to notice. Oh, I think I noticed it. I'm counting. There it is, I noticed it. And I'm angry. I'm getting very frustrated. I'm checking back at the other towers. Oh man. Yeah. Yep, there it is. I got so angry at that. And like I said, just double check everything you do, because you can run into simple mistakes like this, and simple mistakes like this has ruined entire large builds that I have done before, where I haven't double checked it before this. Like, I haven't outlined anything. I just built a straight up tower, then built other straight up towers and walls connecting them, and it was just a horrible mess, and it frustrated me, and I had to finagle it. Anyway, rant over. Check your work is basically what I'm saying. Thanks. This is taking forever, but it's very necessary. This is a very important part of this step, because we need to know that these bumps on the side of the walls, while actually leaving more room, can really help make it feel a lot more closed in than it actually is. It's a similar concept, sort of similar concept of putting mirrors up in a place to make it feel bigger. And we really need to know symmetrically how closed in this place will feel. Plus, it's good to know where all these bumps are anyway for future use. Okay, I just finished with all that, and now I am just looking over it all to see how everything sizes up. I'm pretty happy with the walkway there. It seems a decent size. A little bit fat, but I'm not going to worry about it. I think it's alright. I think that this length is a decent size for what we want. But actually I'm going to be making it bigger, and I'll show you. I forgot to turn the techno off again, so good Mike Jesse here. Anyway, what I'm doing here in plunking these redstone torches down is I'm measuring. And I'm measuring for these, the beloved archways here. Now, if you notice, there are several layers of archways. There's one in the foreground there right next to Richter's foot. There is one in the back, one further back there, and then that lit doorway there. And these different levels need to be marked so that we know where to plunk down the pillars, basically, that hold the archways. Now, I run into problems with that later, but I'll get to that when I get there. Okay, and here I am actually putting out the lines for the base of the archways. And this is why I wanted to extend it, because just one set of archways goes way further than I had originally anticipated, and there are at least 2 sets. So it needed to be way wider. Okay, and this is me finishing off the last of the rows of the archways. And this is where I came into a problem. See, if you notice here, the pillar next to Richter is almost identical, if not identical, in size to the pillar in the shaded part behind it, as well as the pillar behind that one. They're all the same size, and they got away with this because of the two-dimensional level design. However, this causes problems with me with perspective, because obviously I'm working in 3 dimensions, so they need to get smaller as they go back. And that is the reason why I had to both extend the thing and not extend it as far as I needed it to be. But yeah, after a bit I ended up starting the archways, which you can see here, and I wanted to anchor them very cleanly to the wall. And basically this is just to see how the archways look. This is me just testing the perspective as far as from the walkway and see how it looks and compare it to the original image. But again, this causes me problems because with the original image, all the archways will be exactly the same size, as opposed to smaller, which is what they will be in the build that I make. So I just sort of have to play it by ear and make sure it's alright. And honestly, in the end, I think it looked alright, but I guess you'll see that. So, because of these strange proportions, and I'm going to be turning these into bridges, I think I'm going to do 15 spaces in between each one instead of 30, making them a little bit closer, and see how that does. Because if this is just one row of them, and then we copy and paste it again, this is going to be a very wide building. And I know that it's a castle, but that's just ridiculous. We're not doing that. If only I had a way of destroying multiple blocks at once. Yes. If only I had a way. If only I had a way. Alright, we finished the outline for the archways that are going to be the bridges, and we started adding in the side of the building. Now honestly, if you look at the clip of the Castlevania that I'm about to put on the screen right now, if you'll notice, it continues after 2 iterations of the same pattern. But if you look here, it's kind of big already, and I have to fill all this. I know I'm being lazy, but I don't really care. So I'm just going to stop it there. If I wasn't so lazy, I would also part this, because what happens here is these are going to be 2 bridges, and honestly, they look kind of lame, just being 2 random bridges with a minor gap in the middle. I think the idea, it would look cooler if there was a bigger gap here, and it would make this pathway look a lot more important, and we could add like fountains and stuff in the middle. I mean, we could still add fountains and stuff in the middle, but I mean, it would be a wider place for you to enjoy said fountains and stuff in the middle, and it'd be like a nice little plaza type area. It'd be great, but I'm really lazy, so I'm not going to do that. Anyway, now that that's planned out there, all I have to do is copy it on the other side. Yay! Alright, well, that was fun. It wasn't. But that thing's done. Now, what we're going to do is, we're going to go through and add little turrets along the way, because, just to add some spice, because when you look at this from afar, if you were to look at this from afar, these help add texture to it, but not a great amount. If we were to zoom out, we would see these turrets rising up in the middle, and there'd be lots of turrets there, and lots of turrets on the side, but in the middle here it'd be very vacant. Now that could be a good thing if it follows suit on all of the sides, but it doesn't. We have sides in here, and I was planning on doing it out there where there's lots of turrets, and it just doesn't look right if you have your sides ribbed and your face not. It doesn't look quite right. Now, what else won't look quite right is the fact that these are going to be rather irregular, whereas in here they're going to be regular. It's going to bother me a bit, but I'm going to have to just deal with it. Now, there is a pattern you can see here. So perhaps we can follow that on the side. However, it won't be the same pattern as the face, but it shouldn't matter too much. On the face, what we're basically going to do is we're going to find the middle of it. These are all 15 spaces apart. Now, there's 15 spaces in the middle. Now, these towers are spaced odd numbers, so that'll still work. So what we need to do is count out 15, or rather half of 14, which is 7. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Right? Right? Is that right? Yes. Just checking my math. Sorry. You can never be too careful. Alright, so this is where the middle of the tower is going to be. Now, what I wanted to do was to make doors leading from the inside to the outside. And how convenient would it be if these doors were connected to said towers? Yeah, that'd be nice. I don't know what I'm talking about. Anyway, alright, so this is the front. Now, how far do we come out? 4. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4. Is that right? Yes, that is right. Nope. Okay, we get rid of these. 1, 2, 3. Wait. That's not right. I'm going and confusing myself. Alright, 1 on the other side. 2, 3. Okay, what I've done was I changed my mind a little bit, and to keep it from being too clusterfucked in the front, I just put it in the middle of the bridge, basically, on one tower in the middle of the bridge, and that allows us a nice big face, which we can do interesting things with later, like maybe a giant stained glass window. That'd be nice. I think that'd be nice. Anyway, next step. Besides that, I will get to the sides later. They're not as important right now. The next step right now is to build up these towers just a bit, not a lot, and it doesn't have to be complicated. We're just, because I know that there is windows and things on these towers. Right now, we just need to build up a very basic start to them, so that we can get a feel for it. The same way that we did a basic outline in stained glass of those arches.
I just discovered a problem. Without realizing it, I spawned a world which is almost at the top of the world. Meaning the build limit. So I can't build any taller than this. Now, for the purposes that we want, this is okay. This will be fine for just the first floor. Hi kid. Which means we can build the courtyard and everything, but we won't be able to build any of the second floor, which is where most of this map takes place. Like, you walk in and you walk through the main hall and then you walk up a staircase. So I really don't know what to do about this, to be honest. That was very poor foresight on my part. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna finish the bottom part of this the best that I can. It's gonna look really stumpy, and then I guess I'll call it a day and come back to it whenever I get MC or McEdit to work. MC edit. I'll use this term. Anyway, I'll return to it eventually, but I guess until then, this is it. Oh boy. Once again, I forgot to turn my blaring techno off, so you get to look at my beautiful flower I drew instead. Isn't it pretty? I think it is. Alright, well, honestly that took ages, but and I'm not done. But I'm gonna stop it there for now. I will come back to this when I get MC edit working. Or, well, no, we can finish the rest of the ground first. But I will definitely be coming back to this. But until then, thanks for watching, and I hope you enjoyed what little bit you saw and what little bit I produced. And I hope to see you again soon. Take care, everyone. Bye. 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 This is what I tried to show you on Easter that didn't work. It deleted all of my information. This beautiful creation is what I tried to show you. Happy Easter.